Hi, and welcome to Invertebrates. In this video, I'm going to talk about my little Psyttala horrida colony. These are also known as horrid king assassin bugs, and they are the largest assassin bug in the world. So my colony, it's not at its biggest at the moment. I had a really big colony. They kind of bred like crazy, so I had to sell off some of them and sold pretty much 100 individuals all in all. And now I might have around 15 adults and nymphs. So the Psyttala horrida, they vary in pattern and coloration as they grow. As you see, as little nymphs, they're kind of like, I don't know, their abdomen is pretty much the funniest thing, and you can really see if they have eaten or not, because it blows up like a balloon as they eat, which is quite amusing to watch. And sometimes they look like they're gonna pop. I've never seen that, but yeah, they do look pretty funny. And as adults, as you've seen now, they have this striking black and red coloration, and with those long spines. So they look quite intimidating. However, in my experience, they are pretty calm animals. I've never experienced anyone try to bite me. They can actually shoot their venom, but I've never ever seen that. Never anyone trying to do that towards me, not as I've noticed anyway. And usually the only time I ever smell the venom in there is if I'm collecting them, catching them for moving or whatever, or during feeding. So during feeding, it can get pretty wild, especially when I had a bigger colony and they were kind of fighting for the resources. Even though I would feed them all plenty, they still went berserk in there. So pretty entertaining bug to watch. From what I've read, a lot of people keep these bugs fairly dry. After doing some research on where they're from West Central Africa, I decided to keep them kind of mixed. I've kept the soil fairly moist in certain areas and then drier in other areas, so they kind of have both of like the best of both worlds. And so looking at their condition, like it seemed like they have been very healthy, and as I said, they've been breeding like crazy. I started off at around 15. When was that? That's a few years back. And the colony kind of just blew up, and they were breeding like crazy. So a lot of fun, but of course, as I said, I did end up having too many at some point. I couldn't keep up with the feeding, and they needed bigger and bigger enclosures. So that's why I sold them off, and now I'm kind of rebuilding the colony. This was the first invertebrate I got after quite a long hiatus from the hobby. I decided to get those assassin bugs because I remember I used to have some assassin bugs. I can't remember. I'll put the little text there with which assassin bugs I used to keep. But I remember they were really fun. I never had this species, so that's why I got these ones. And yeah, I was bitten by the bug, as you say, once again, and then I just expanded my collection of bugs since then. So yeah, not so many insects in my collection, more tarantulas, but yeah, this was what brought me back into the hobby, so that's pretty neat. So as I said, they are a predatory insect, and they do generally eat other animals. Most of the time they're not cannibalistic. As I said, I have a colony, so I've seen instances of cannibalism, but for the most part they're pretty peaceful among their own kind. I do see sometimes during feeding they get confused about what is prey and what are other assassin bugs. And they do have quite good vision, but they will go after movement. So even if they're hungry in there, if there's an individual that's hungry and I'm looking at them from outside of the enclosure, they will sometimes come running up just to check me out and see if I'm food. So sometimes there's some confusion during feeding there with not with me, but with other individuals, because they will run around and try to look for their prey. But they are pretty good hunters for the most part, and they can overpower prey much larger than themselves. And a pretty neat thing during feeding is how they often share the food. This is more or less voluntary. Sometimes they will try, like when they catch something, they'll run off and get somewhere high and hide away from others. I see the younger ones will often run after, and sometimes I've seen them kind of attach themselves to the prey item, just hang off as one has caught it and is holding on. So there's some pretty funny instances there. So yeah, they do share in that sense. I think if they had the choice, they would not share, but I see a lot of sharing, and it's quite sweet to watch, even though they sometimes they will try to chase off others, but oftentimes they would just accept the fact that there are other assassin bugs sharing their meal. And with the small nymphs, I've actually seen them pick up a prey item that an adult has discarded, finished off, and they actually found that there to be more food in there and sat and ate this prey item even after the adult had finished. So they kind of finished the meal for them. So since these are invertebrates, they do molt, they shed their skin. And I think they shed their skin about 7 times before they become an adult. And it kind of looks pretty crazy. Like with most inverts, it looks crazy when they molt, and as you can see, they kind of look really strikingly orange, reddish after they molted. And of course, in the beginning, they're quite vulnerable for predators and such. Not something they need to worry about here, but in the wild, they definitely had to worry about that. But it's here, like, they usually harden within a day, so it's not the worst thing. But you can tell that they feel vulnerable after that. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you here. I hope you enjoyed the video. So hopefully you'll subscribe and like and all that fun stuff. And either way, I appreciate you checking out the channel and the video. So if you want to check out some more stuff, I got an Instagram. All right, I'll link all that stuff. So if you're interested, just check it out. And if not, I will appreciate you watching this far anyway. All right, thank you so much. See ya.